Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching
Fanboy.
Fanboy,
fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
Stand-up comedy is the last bastion of free space, at least here in the United States. And this is no different, as we are embarking on a whole new adventure in going to Catalina Comedy Island with the founders, Tony Riccio and Ben Villalobos. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Robert.
Listen, man, I am thrilled that you guys are putting this together. Catalina Island is a great destination. You have one of my favorites. You have quite a few comics, but one of my favorites is Dave Attell, who's going to be one of the headliners. Dana Carvey is going to be a part of it. Jeff Ross, you know, so many more. How did the genesis of Catalina Comedy Island come into being?
You want to go first, Ben?
No, you can go, Tony.
All right. Ben and I have been longtime friends and business partners in other different arenas. Ben started the Catalina Wine Mixer, so when he worked out there, so he has a history of event production, and we both have a passion for comedy. So yeah, we started this back before COVID, and it kind of all fell apart with everything else right before tickets went on sale, thank God. And we just rebooted it recently, and just recently got tickets on sale for this lineup. It's going to be an annual event, so we're looking forward to several more years of it, and this is going to be the first one. So there really hasn't been any big names on the island in the comedy world, so we wanted to be the first to do that, and just have it become like a regular thing. I think the Catalina Wine Mixer's like what, in its 7th year now, Ben?
Yeah, I started in 2015.
Yeah, so we
have a little break during COVID.
Yeah, we want to have a similar trajectory with this long term. So,
was there ever a notion of teaming up with any of the other Catalina Island festivals, like the International Film Festival? I know you do the Wine Mixer, or any of the other ones, playing off each other to promote events on Catalina Island?
Well, we know all of the promoters and you know, organizers, and so we're in close contact with them. So when Tony and I came up with this a few years ago before COVID, we obviously had to take a break, you know, over the last couple of years, and then everything kind of happened pretty fast, from kind of the concept and all of the kind of hard work we had been working on already. So when it came around to like, okay, we could actually maybe get this done this year, then there wasn't really much time to really discuss things at that stage. So everything has been happening later, but we hope to work, you know, with all of the other events on the island, you know, for years to come, because this is the first year of hopefully a very long annual event. You know, Jazz Tracks, which is in October, that's been going for over 30 years. And, you know, this is something that we would like to see Comedy Island, you know, lasting the same like Jazz Tracks, just keep on going in decades to come.
Well, I would love for it to be as successful as Jazz Tracks, especially with the fact that the shows are going to be at the casino on the Avalon, which is the very first theater that had sound. And ironically, the very first film that they showed there was a silent film, which kind of defeats the purpose. But, you know, that's a very LA story. How is it to have that historic of a building as your home base for this event?
Well, it's incredible. The island's just got so much history, and you know, back in the day, it was the playground for all of the Hollywood celebrities, and just, you know, you spend even just a couple of days over there, and you know, learn about, you know, what ties to so many different things, from the Wrigley over in Chicago to Hollywood. You know, it's just fantastic to be able to kind of give that casino theater just a kind of new lease of life, because since then, apart from, you know, the film festival, there aren't really that many larger scale events that have happened there. So to be able to kind of put on the first big scale comedy and bring some celebrities back to the island and perform in that beautiful Art Deco theater is something that you know, is just pretty magical to be a part of.
Well, year one is a 2-night event. On Friday night, there's Friday and Saturday night both have 2 shows, both beginning at 6 and 9 p.m. Friday is Jeff Ross, Dave Attell with Michelle Wolf. And on Saturday night is Dana Carvey with his sons. Is there the hope of turning this into like Toronto, where it becomes a week-long festival on the island?
Yeah, I think that would be that would be.
I think Ben
So
froze.
that's why we started with the 2 nights, and then we wanted to add, you know, things. And you know, after the first year, once we have, you know, a following and we have the brand, which the team, Alex is on the team and Amanda also, they, you know, created this what we think is a really solid brand and really fits the island feel. That, you know, this is where you can go away, and it's not just like driving or Ubering to you know, a stadium or a theater. You know, this is a vacation. And you know, I think like Jeff Ross said in his recent interview talking about Comedy Island, you know, laughter is like the vaccine for the soul. That, you know, right now it's been so tough for everyone the last couple of years that everyone deserves and everyone needs to get away, relax, go to the beach, go zip lining, get a massage, enjoy themselves, eat some great food, and then in the evening, you know, just have a great time laughing with friends and family. So, you know, I think in the future, we would love to see this grow into a multi-day event, you know, or even multiple weekends. But, you know, right now, I think we want to make sure that everyone has an incredible experience. So we want to make sure that we, you know, do everything in a manageable way for the first year, just like we did for the Wine Mixer. The Catalina Wine Mixer started as a 1-day event on Sunday, then it grew into a weekend event. But, you know, it's definitely good to start manageable and then, you know, grow it, you know, kind of organically from there. Once you get feedback from, you know, the guests that come this year, they're going to be crucial in telling us what they liked and, you know, what they would like to see, and we're going to add to it. We actually just added Saturday night after party, which we're going to be announcing next week. So last night on the Saturday, we're going to be having a big party over at Descanso Beach Club. So you can be there with your, you know, feet in the sand and a cocktail in your hand, you know, partying it with the DJ into the early hours. So, so yeah, that would be from my side. And I think Tony, we would agree as well. Yeah, we'd love to see this grow.
Yeah, we're really excited to grow it. We have all kinds of things in mind in the years to come, from the trend of like live podcasts, which are really popular right now in the comedy world. The whole idea too is just the intimacy of an 1,100 seat theater and getting a comedian in there, you know, that's a bigger name that you either wouldn't have the opportunity to see in such a small environment, or someone like Dana, who doesn't do like a lot of stand up all the time, but who is an icon and is brilliant. And then to just kind of really mix up the type of comedians we have, like Jeff Ross. You never know what you're going to get with him. He made a mention on Good Day LA that he was bringing some of his friends. We don't know what that means. But if you're a fan of Jeff, you know, he kind of is known for being spontaneous and stuff like that. We're excited about Michelle Wolf too. So we really want to build on that. And then, you know, as the years go by, I mean, the idea of a week-long thing would be really exciting, so people could have, you know, more options to come in and out. But we really want to springboard and just get people excited about, you know, this like small intimate environment with these bigger name comedians, and then just go from there. And yeah, get the feedback from all of our first-time ticket holders.
That's going to be a beautiful thing. And I know the island doesn't get very much stand-up comedy. You know, there's no improv or Laugh Factory or anything like that on the island. So what are some of the bonuses? Like, is there a discounted ticket for people that live on the island to get them to come out as well and be a part of this?
Yeah, we have a discount code. Which one would be the best one to give?
Islander 10 is what the locals have been using.
Islander 10, yeah.
I love it. Islander 10 is their discount code. You guys have a special offer as well, a bundle package for the passes if they're coming to both nights, hotel, transportation, because transportation is kind of hard to get there. We either have the helicopter or the Catalina, well, you know, one of the Catalina boats that get us there. I don't even think there's what are those hydroplanes anymore that land, or do they still have those as well?
No, that right now, so there's the Catalina Flyer, which is out of Newport, and they've added additional boats to it as well. And then there's also the Catalina Express, which has multiple ferries daily from Long Beach, and they will be adding a late boat as well on the Friday night and Saturday night, which I think they're gonna put on Monday or Tuesday next week. And then obviously the helicopter company that you can get there from anywhere from LA to Orange County, and it takes between 9 and 15 minutes. So so they're the ways to get there. And also a huge boating population community from LA and Orange County that have private boats, and obviously Avalon is just the most incredible place if you have a boat or you have friends with a yacht, then to go over there, and then you can hang out on your yacht during the day and then go to the event in the evening time. So we do have some another helicopter company is IX Helicopters. They're doing a package where you get 20% discount on your flights from Long Beach, and you can purchase tickets directly with them as well. The Catalina Flyer have a promotion where there's a discounted ticket on the boats that go out on Friday afternoon, coming back on Sunday. Then there's some hotel packages with Hotel Metropole. They have a promo code, which is comedy, and you get 15% off your room as well. So there's out there. Hermosa Hotel also has a couple of packages that they're doing as well, with a promotion code when people are looking for places to stay. Vacation rentals. If you're going with a group of friends, a lot of people like to stay at Hamilton Cove or one of the vacation rentals in Avalon. And, that's a great way to experience the island as well, seeing the barbecue and hang out with your friends. And so there's definitely some packages around that are all on our website as well.
That's awesome. And are there going to be any meet and greets? Because you've taken care of hotel, lodging, travel, and making it accessible for people to get to the island and for people already on the island. But like special meet and greets with Jeff and Dave and Michelle, or Dana and his sons, like, are those going to be special packages as well?
We don't have any. Okay, Ben.
No, you go ahead, Tony.
We don't have any meet and greet packages set up yet. Jeff is already talking about roaming the streets and making himself. He's very engaging with his fan base. So while it's not going to be like a ticketed meet and greet, if you're on the island that weekend, don't be surprised on Jeff's day if you bump into him. He already said he was going to wear like a thong and a captain's hat and go around and roast people. So, but no, nothing formal set up. It is something we might do in years to come, but we put this together, like I said, back prior to COVID, but then we got it, everybody was just scrambling to do shows, all these comedians. So we were really kind of just trying to get everybody's schedules lined up, and that'll probably be something we do more formally next year.
And I don't know about this year, but maybe going forward next year, is there going to be like a pay-per-view aspect of it for the people that couldn't make it to the island, get like a live stream version or a post-production version of some of the routines being performed?
Well, if anyone from Netflix is watching and they want to participate, we're definitely open to have discussions on that. That would be the dream. And we did actually, look into that. But again, that changes the whole dynamic of the show. Then it's actually a lot harder than people may think, because once you have these networks involved, then suddenly there's obviously a lot more money that they have an expectation, and also the comedians, they have to, once their material is on a like a Netflix show or Prime or whatever, then they can't use it again necessarily for stand-up tours. So there's quite a lot into it. So I think that would definitely be the dream, and that would be something that goes back to even with the jazz. They had like they would do radio, record it live on the radio from there. So it would be pretty neat to have some kind of filmed show from the theater. I mean, it really would definitely take the whole festival to another level. So, I mean, I think we would love to see that eventually.
Yeah, and some with the comedy podcast, we were talking about maybe doing a live stream version of that down the road. But man, you bring up recording, and it's like it's a whole different, conversation because in the comedy world, it's their material that they're trying to keep from getting out there so that they get those laughs initially when they're performing it. If somebody's already seen their freshest jokes, on the internet. I mean, I just went to a Bill Burr thing, and they did this thing where they take your phone and they put it in a locked bag and they hand it back to you just because they're so worried about, they don't want any of the jokes to be recorded and put on the internet, which is kind of uncomfortable to sit, for an hour and a half long show with your phone, like right there in your lap, but you can't, get into it. We're not doing that. But just in the old fashioned way, we'll be telling people, please don't be taking photos and recording. But yes, somewhere down the road, if there's a way to bridge that gap and get a big partner like Netflix and make this like very special that we can share with the world, that would definitely be a fun goal to go after.
And with everything that's coming about, I mean, I love the fact that this is coming. Catalina Comedy Island is in its infancy, so we're looking for its growth. Who were the comedians that influenced you that said, you know what, I got to be on the production side of this and eventually put on a festival to do so? Like, there had to have been somebody when you were young that's like, 10, 11, 12 years old, and like, that's it, I really love stand-up comedy.
Well, for me, I mean, it's really hard when you're picking talent to keep your own personal, stuff out of it, because, you're trying to please your audience and stuff like that. But having said that, and in answer to your question, Dana, I grew up watching Dana on SNL and, watched him when he got his start in stand-up and into SNL and into stand-up and just everything that he's doing now. So, I mean, he's iconic. He, has influenced so many people in the comedy world. His podcast is really fun to listen to. I don't know if you've seen it. The whole concept, it's him and David Spade interviewing an SNL person from either past or present, and they talk about all this stuff that I guess you'd only hear if you were a fly on the wall. So, really cool stuff. All of those old school comics influenced, all of my laughter growing up. I feel like I'm getting old though, because like, some of these comedians like Dana, you meet someone in their 20s and they're like, who's Dana Carvey? And I'm like, who's Dana Carvey? I'm like, come on. So we want to keep it in the years to come fresh too. We want to have those comics that have been around for a long time. Like we really like the idea of like a Jim Gaffigan, or like a Bill Burr, out there. But then there's a lot of really, comics that are just poised to be huge, like Taylor Tomlinson and stuff like that are just hilarious, that are going to have very long careers. That we want to mix it up so there's something for everybody.
And Ben, who are some of your comedic influences?
Well, growing up in England, I would love to see Ricky Gervais perform at the theater there, because I think he's just he's obviously pretty big in the US now with, hosting the Golden Globes and everything. And, I guess kind of controversial, but I have a dry sense of humor. He definitely is the epitome of dry sense of humor. So he's definitely someone that I've been a huge fan of, and would love to see one day, even if he just makes an appearance, would be incredible. What about yourself? Who did you grow up?
You know what? Norm Macdonald, God rest his soul, was one of my favorites growing up. I think I was watching him. I was like 12 years old when he was on the A-list on Comedy Central. That was the first thing I saw him on. Mark Maron, obviously Sam Kinison and Dice Man, stuff we weren't supposed to listen to when we were, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. But those guys were the biggies. And then, of course, you grow up, Carlin and Pryor, and you go from there, and you evolve as you grow. But I loved all those guys too, and Marin is still kicking. I love what he's doing. So. And,
he's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget when he got Obama in his house for his podcast. That was incredible.
I by accident I made Mark feel old. We were at the Critics' Choice Awards, and they were nominated for Glow. And I was like, man, I've been listening to you since I was 12. And I'm like a foot and a half taller than Mark Maron is. And he's just looking at me and he's like, ugh. And then his date, I think, was like 26 years old. So like, you know, added to the whole age discrepancy thing. So like, I felt bad that I made him feel old, but like, I was that excited to meet him because I had been in love with his work since I was 12.
Yeah, he's an icon too, and I think he's very much like a comedian's comedian.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely phenomenal. You know, I miss Patrice O'Neill. There's been so many that have just been out there. There's a comedian I interviewed not too long ago. She's from Russia, Anya Zova. She's great. Ahmed. You know, there's so many people that are coming up or have been, like you said, comedians, that it's just great to see them getting recognized. Adam Hunter is another one.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So there's just, you know, and Adam's a wrestler and he roasts all the MMA fighters. So it's always interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But gentlemen, what are we hoping for year one with the guests coming out to Catalina Comedy Island? And what are we hoping for, say, year two, you know, the sequel?
Right. So year one, we want to create an experience that people know when they're on the island that this has to be Catalina Comedy Island weekend. So, you know, we're not trying to, you know, say everything that's going to happen or go on. We want to kind of have these, you know, kind of over deliver as much as we can for year one. And again, like we said, get feedback. Year two, I feel that we would like to really add more and activate more parts of the town. So, you know, for year one, we want to have the theater, you know, have the main event, and then, you know, we want to add to it. So like Tony mentioned, you know, podcasts, you know, we could have podcasts in the afternoon and get more talent coming over to do these podcasts where people could have like an add-on. So it's more a la carte. They can say, okay, we want to see this podcast, and then they can pick and choose, maybe activate some of the other great, you know, restaurants in town. There's the Lobster Trap has a boat that's built inside. It's an actual boat that's cut in half. So that's a natural stage. So, I mean, it would be great to have more, you know, smaller, intimate artists performing there, you know, throughout the day and the evening and, you know, before and after the show, the main shows. And you know, I think we'd like to add, you know, a music aspect to it as well. We are going to have DJs and things this year, but it'd be great to have you know, some music aspect. We've worked a lot with the Dan Band, you know, which is from all the Will Ferrell movies, and you know, they add another element of, you know, comedy music. There's a I think Tony, you told me about them. There's a comedian, and she plays the guitar. Sorry, the name slipped my mind, but I would love to get her and her her partner on, because they were just fantastic. So I think overall, you know, more activations from the comedy world, and also more activations around the island in town, and more music as well. So it really becomes kind of a cultural, you know, event as we move forward. And, you know, I think this is year one. We're very excited to just be, you know, having it after 3 years of just sitting, trying to, you know, wait for the right time to be able to, you know, do it. It's obviously, you know, it's obviously stressful, like with any new event. So we're just trying to put the word out there, get a, you know, following that's, and then, you know, grow from there. At the end of the day, to do anything on the island is extremely expensive. It's generally about 35% more, because obviously everything has to be shipped over. There's travel, accommodation, not just for the guests, but also for the talent, production, security. Every single person that we bring over has to have a bed, you know. So, you know, that's some of the challenges, but we really believe in creating this experience on the island where people can get away, they can leave. I mean, you've been to Catalina, like, it doesn't even feel like part of the US. And we actually, one of the questions, the biggest questions we have is, do we need a passport? And it's like, well, no, you don't actually need a passport, but it does actually feel like that. You could, you know, you're riding around in your golf cart, and, you know, you could be in the Caribbean or in Tahiti. You know, like, it's such a great experience. And when you leave, even if you're only there for 2 nights, 3 days, you leave and you're like, wow, that was such a relaxing time. So, you know, that's part of the reason to create a destination. If we wanted it to do it, like, if we wanted to make our lives easier, we would have done it in LA or Orange County. But, and sometimes we feel like, oh, you know, it would have been way easier. But you know what? I think we stuck with the initial vision, which was to create something that is totally unique. I mean, I can't think of another island within the US where these events happening. And, you know, the only event I don't want it to be like is Firefest, but hopefully that's not going to be.
Well, we have, right off the bat, we have electricity, so we're fine.
We have, there's cabanas, so we're halfway there, so it can't be that bad.
You know, I'm shocked. I've been in LA over 20 years, and like there isn't like a week that goes by if I talk about Catalina with somebody. People that I've met that are born here, you know, and God, I've never gone out there, and I'm like, man, you gotta, if you've never been to Catalina, you gotta go to Catalina, but just same day, which is fine. You know, I've done that too. But the island will grow on you. There's like a special energy there. You know, go for at least one night, spend the night, do some of the activities. It's not all touristy things. Like the zip lining is amazing and stuff, but there's so many things to do on the island, from like, you know, renting a boat to going hiking to, you know, dining, massages. I mean, you could basically hike for 6 miles in one direction and eventually just not see anybody. On the Santa Catalina Island Trail. So it's just a really special place, and it grows on you. It doesn't feel like you're in California. Certainly doesn't feel like you're in LA County. So
Tony, the bluefin tuna are biting like for the last few weeks around the island. So you're going to get the best, freshest fish that you can possibly imagine. For a couple of weeks ago, we were over there on a friend's boat, and half a mile offshore, bluefin started to run through. So they took the tender, which was 14-foot long inflatable tender. 10 minutes came back with a 110-pound bluefin tuna. So we're like, I mean, it's, you can't even make this up. This is just, you know, what an incredible place. So hopefully the tuna will stay around for September the 9th weekend.
Are you coming out, Robert?
I want to come out, but I have a prior engagement with Disney, which I'll tell you a little bit once we get off the record, because, you know, you can't upset Mickey Mouse.
No, yeah.
But I would love to be there at least one night this year, and for sure the entire weekend, year 2. Remind everybody about Catalina Comedy Island, where we can find you on social media and your website, so we can have them connect with you and get on the island for some great comedy.
Yeah, we're everywhere at CatalinaComedyIsland.com. Right now, if you go there today, I don't know when this is going to air. It's a 2-day pass. In the next 48 hours or so, you're going to be able to buy individual shows. So get tickets soon, because traditionally on the island, it's the 2 weeks before the event, and then things like sell out pretty quick.
I love
it. Robert, can I just show you a photo? Because when you do have your meeting with Mickey, I mean, they said that they were going to come out, but
I love it. Catalina Comedy Island, September 9th and 10th. It's going to be a blast. Thank you guys so much for today.
Thank you so much, Robert. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert.
All right.
Bye-bye.